Hey guys, welcome to the Gedunk, another episode of Survivor.
Yeah, episode 11, season 42.
Yeah, that's what some people say.
That's right.
Yeah. What episode is it really?
Yeah.
Who knows? But Drea is gone.
Yep.
So we're picking up from there.
Yep, the three advantages she had couldn't save her, I guess.
No, they could not, unfortunately for her. But
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of glad to see her go. So
Were you?
Yeah. I was kind of glad the way that one went down. I just liked the bamboozlement of it, you know.
Oh yeah, I
It's
mean the
always
way
good
it
when you
played
see some
out
good
was
bamboozling,
great. You know, that's always good
Absolutely.
to see.
Yeah,
Always
this is
good to
actually,
see.
of all the seasons I've watched, I think I've liked a lot of the tribals and the way they've gone
And
like
I'd
that.
say,
yeah.
and we're not getting let down on this one either. It's a good episode.
Yeah.
Another good episode.
Oh my god, I'm so happy I'm here with all of you. I need to give everybody a hug. No one wanted to see you go. Nobody wanted to see you.
Well, and then when and they get back to camp, and it seems like everybody's happy about the decision, right? Everybody's all hunky dory, they're all cool, kumbaya. Everybody's getting along.
Yeah, no one's even calling out Omer about the whole,
No.
like, don't trust Omer. Like,
Right.
no one's
Well,
really even pointing that
matter of
out.
fact, they congratulate him for it. Mike's like, "Yo, man, great job. That was
Yeah.
all. You deserve all the credit for that." So
Yeah, and I was
Yeah.
thinking, in the little, like, one-on-one talks with the individuals, they would be like, he would be talking to the camera saying, like, I really wish these people would stop giving me credit for it, because you don't want people to, alert
he's-
that, hey, you're making these big moves, because...
Now he's ready to do his evil laugh. He said, "You know, he's all
Yeah.
about it."
Well, I will say it's not too long after that Mike starts plotting against Omer. So
Right.
Sure.
maybe there is
well,
some blowback.
I tell you what, you know, Mike and Jonathan have really upped their intelligence game in this episode. You know, they're both finally really starting to put the pieces together and see what's going on, and they did a fantastic job.
Finally,
this
they
week.
see Omer for the threat he is. I mean,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
Well, through editing, you don't really realize that right away,
Yeah,
but...
That's true. You never know
Right,
what
right.
they realized earlier. Or
Yeah.
whatnot. But I guess
Mhm.
Lindsay's amulet now is become an idol.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now Dre's gone.
but she can only use it. This is the last week she could use it.
Yeah, that's what it
So-
says. You got to use it in weeks by I guess when there's 6 people left, then you got to use it after that. It's no
Right.
void, so it's gone.
And Omer
Well-
gives his idol back to Mike.
He does right off the bat.
So
that
we
was
thought
good.
there might be some shadiness with that, but didn't look
Mhm.
like that. Like I said, he gives it back to Mike, and then Mike starts plotting against him almost immediately.
Right,
so
exactly.
That's kind of a little weird.
He's like, "All right, I know Omer's coming after me.
Yeah.
Got to take him down."
And is Omer really coming after Mike, though?
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
at this point, it really doesn't matter.
He could be, yeah. That depends on how the talks go. Like, because Omer picks his target. He has, I mean, everyone's a target for him.
Mm-hmm.
But
Oh yeah, that dude's
depending on how talks go,
Right.
he usually tries to think that the target is who everybody's thinking. And then he's like, well,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe I can make it this person.
Right, and when-
so,
And this week, he focuses on, hey, I need to split Mike and Jonathan, right? They're all
right.
buddy
He
buddy.
didn't care which
I
one
need
goes.
to put a ratchet in between that, split these
Mhm.
guys up, and get rid of one of them.
Yep.
So this brings us to the reward challenge,
Mm-hmm.
where they have to do like unravel themselves, and Marianne struggles with that a
Man.
little bit,
Getting
and she
dizzy.
She's
falls
going
down.
way off course, man.
Oh, yeah.
And then Marianne uses a unique strategy of spinning the opposite way
She's trying to
rebalance
unspin.
herself.
To make herself not dizzy
I'm
anymore.
pretty sure that's not how it
Yeah,
works.
I don't know if
Yeah.
her brain kind of like goes, okay, I'm too much this way, let's go the other way.
Spinner. Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
Well,
It
obviously
didn't
it
seem
didn't
to
work out
work.
for her very well. So
Yeah.
yeah. Nice try though, Marianne.
Yeah.
So what'd you think about the reward challenge? Now they're fighting for chicken and veggies or cake
Yeah.
and cookies.
So we saw this last
Mm-hmm.
season, you know, same challenge, you know, and but this time there's a little twist to it at the end of it, you know. So I thought that was kind of interesting the way Jeff did that. So
they spin, they get dizzy, they have to cross a balance beam and then essentially put together a puzzle.
Yep.
mhm.
And we know Jonathan normally struggles on the puzzle part.
Yep.
And
We haven't seen
this-
too much puzzle action for him, but now it's an independent game.
Yeah, and
We're
this week,
seeing
and this
it.
And he
And,
didn't really
it's not
come
going
through
great.
on that. In
No.
fact, they didn't even like
didn't even really focus on him
They
at all.
didn't.
because
It's not
it was
like he's
horrible.
not really a contender.
Yeah, so I mean,
here,
you know, as would be expected, you know, Jonathan makes it to the puzzle first, right, with Lindsay hot on his heels, but then after that, he just falls apart, and Jonathan is not a puzzle guy.
Yeah, but who is a puzzle guy?
Well, the funny thing is, in the past, he wasn't very good at puzzles, and I think I mentioned that.
Yeah, there was
But
one
this week, he
did
blew
really
it away.
bad on.
Omer was a puzzle guy this week, and he
Yeah.
redeemed himself on puzzles, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Got his niece a little shout out there.
That's right.
Mhm.
That's right.
suppose he did.
He wanted to do it
Hana.
to show her that you can do hard things.
That's
Yeah,
right.
so he's kind of breezing through the puzzle, and he ends up winning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
His
Jeff presents him
his
with
first challenge.
a unique opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
where he can choose the chicken and veggies, but he can bring two people, I think. And then the cake and cookies, he can bring 3.
Oh, yeah.
So which way do you go on that?
Oh, you would always go to 3 on that, if you're smart.
But are you thinking maybe the chicken would be more helpful for you?
Well, you are thinking that, but then at the same time, it's like, well, is the chicken going to be more helpful, or is getting another person on my side going to be more helpful, right? So you always play the people before the food, I would think. So at least that's how I would play it. But
I don't know.
We'll see how it works out this week.
Depends on how hangry you are.
Right,
I think Jonathan would, if Jonathan was in that position, he probably would have gone for the chicken.
He's like, cookies and cake, that does nothing for me.
It's like, I need protein.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
So I think it depends on the person who wins the challenge and who gets presented with the choice, to be honest with you. But.
And he does go with the cookies and cake option, and probably smart. And it's, you probably expect that from Omar. So
yeah.
Right.
And who does he choose?
Well, it was interesting that he did not choose Lindsay, who chose him for hers, So it's kind of, he left her high and dry there. And I was like, oh, that's kind of
not part of the plan, maybe.
I liked his reasoning. I mean, anytime you get to those where you have to choose, I feel like I would just want to just do it randomly somehow, or say, hey, why don't you guys decide? Put the burden on them.
So this wasn't random. He knew he already had Lindsay.
I know.
He already had Lindsay in his pocket, so that's why he just left her out, right? But still, it was kind of messed up, I thought of him.
Yeah.
Well, he chooses Romeo early, and
that's. I mean,
that's hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like,
as he's showing us.
Oh, yeah.
Romeo needs anything he can get.
Yeah, and then he's like, Marianne, you've been struggling. Come on over, choose Marianne, and then choose Mike.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay.
Yeah, I thought he might choose Lindsay there instead of Mike.
I thought so too, yeah.
He is tight with Mike too, at least before.
But he's also trying to drive a wedge between Jonathan and Mike. So he doesn't want to leave Mike and Jonathan together alone.
Yeah, and Jonathan and Lindsay aren't doing too great with each other these days.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and the other thing is too, they're the biggest competitors, at least physically. So he's leaving them both without some extra sustenance there. So gonna drag them down a notch.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And then Jonathan and Lindsay are left alone with each other, and they're trying to reassure each other here. And Jonathan's narrating the entire time as it's happening.
And Jonathan impressed the hell out of me this week. The way he put it all together, and he was spot on. Everything he said this week was pretty much almost everything was spot on. And this guy's finally getting the pieces in his head and figuring his game out the way he should have been quite a while ago, I think.
Yeah. I do think it's funny that they were basically BSing each other. And he's like, I know that's what we're doing. It's fine.
He's like, she's doing horrible. I know she's lying to me.
Hopefully I'm doing okay with her, but I don't know.
That Omar didn't seem to come up with a grand scheme when he was doing the cookies and the cake and stuff with people, at least what they shown.
Yeah. And maybe he felt he didn't have to. Maybe I think he was so confident, and I think him and Lindsay, with their little scheming were so confident together that I don't think he felt like he had to do it.
I did not understand Lindsay's reasoning behind the idol. I know we're not ready to get to that, but we will.
So they had the immunity challenge. What did you think about that challenge?
I mean, it was okay. I mean, I don't
stair puzzle,
okay.
which Jonathan's quick out the gates, but as soon as they start getting to the stair puzzle,
it's pegs and holes. Like how hard is it?
Pretty simple, but he struggled with that.
His mind just could not wrap.
Again, him and the puzzles, man. Yeah.
And then they have to climb some kind of pole that's kind of like a mini puzzle. And
they got to get the ring that's got their 2 balls in it up the thing to get it off, so they can get their 2 balls.
I wouldn't really call that a puzzle though. So, I mean, it seems fairly
it's like
straightforward. And what you do at once, you seem to do
it
the entire time.
Right.
So
right.
I mean, but the thing is, Jonathan did catch up with that because he breezed through that. I mean, he just boom, 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 boom.
He got what was going on there.
Yeah. So then it came down I mean, it was really anyone's game at that point because they had eventually all gotten and nobody had gotten a ball in yet. But then it was pretty clear it was a Lindsay and Jonathan show again.
Well, because it comes down to the old labyrinth game, right, where you're maneuvering the marble around, trying to get in
like
the
a
holes,
little maze. And Lindsay's there early, and they don't really show her too much what she does early. And and by the time everyone else gets there, she hadn't seemed like she made much progress.
Right.
Yeah, so it's almost like even that stair puzzle none of that really mattered because by the time they all got there towards the end, they're all pretty much on common ground anyway, right? Because that thing was hard. They're all falling.
So that's quintessential Survivor competitions, you know what I mean? Like the last leg, specifically the puzzles, are always the equalizer. The advantage is she did get a lot more practice with it.
Yeah.
So she had known what maneuvers were failing and succeeding at that point, whereas everybody else is just starting.
I think Jonathan gets the first ball in.
Yeah, he does.
So
you gotta get 2, right?
He's going to get it. Yeah.
So and I thought he was going to get that second one.
Oh, so did I.
Yeah.
And twice he was so close. And you're like, oh, man.
Yeah.
And he seems pretty good at the balancing thing like that. We've seen him do that with the ball and stuff pretty good. So
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
This week he just couldn't
and
get
he
it,
comes crazy close a couple
close.
times.
Oh, dude.
So
Oh, dude.
close.
I mean,
But-
like, it was practically in there, goes out, restart
I thought
over.
for sure he was going to win it. Well, then Lindsay with her last one, she actually got in the hole. It rolled back out, but then
Yeah.
she was finally able to maneuver
Mhm.
back in, and she wins.
Yep.
That
So
was, that was
Lindsay
super
wins
close.
immunity again.
Yep.
Mhm.
Which
And she's hell bent on targeting Jonathan.
As she
Obviously.
has been this past 3 or 4 weeks now. She
Yeah.
wants that dude out. She flat out said, "Look, he is my only competition in the physical parts." She's like, "If I get rid
But
of
is
him,
that
then I'll win
smart?
everything."
If you get rid of the biggest competition, you become the biggest
Yeah,
competition.
exactly.
Is she seeing that? Like, maybe
Yeah, I
he's a
don't know.
shield for me right now. Maybe
Mhm.
you don't want to be the top dog as far as competitions go.
and she might be pulling that trigger a little too early.
Yeah, possibly.
Maybe, but-
wait till 1 or 2 more people get knocked out and then start pulling it.
But that's the other thing she's
But she's
thinking.
so
Maybe I
focused
won't
on
have
him.
that opportunity because
That's
when
true.
it comes down to if he's presented with the choice, if he's the one that wins the competition that chooses, he's not going to take her, and same vice versa with her
Right, yeah.
because they are each other's biggest competition. So
It is a double-edged sword because without him there, it gives her a stronger opportunity to win immunity, though.
every time,
So
right? And that was
it's
her
tough.
biggest thing,
It's
right?
tough.
That was her biggest thing. If Jonathan's gone, then
She
I'm
thinks she
I'm-
can win
I'm going to
everything.
win every immunity. That's
Yeah.
basically how she said it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I get that, but socially, you probably become the number one target,
yeah,
which Jonathan has been because he's
Oh, yeah.
been winning. So
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
So then we go back to the scheming and manipulating.
this was hard to keep track of.
Oh, it was, man. It was
Yeah.
a lot of, okay,
Well, at
you
first
vote this way,
everyone-
you vote that
I'm like
way, I'm
doing
gonna do this,
I'm
we're gonna
doing
do
the
that.
math,
Right,
and I'm
right,
like, well,
yeah.
if this, then that, and
Uh-huh.
who?
At first, everyone seems on board with Jonathan, but Marianne, she's tired of being like
Uh-huh.
a sheep and wants to make a big
The
move.
goat. She called herself goat.
But
The goat.
nobody wants to get, well, at least in the conversations and through editing that they're showing us, nobody wants to get on board with that plan because they think that Lindsay's going to play the idol on Omar. But she explains to Omar that she doesn't want to play the idol, even though it's going to be dead and not used after this, because she thinks if she plays it, it puts it back in use,
Back in circulation.
in
yeah.
circulation. And I really don't get that mindset because it might go back in circulation anyway if she doesn't use it. And either way, if you want to ensure your plan, just use it. What does it matter?
Right.
Yeah.
That was a big mistake.
Now,
Yeah.
I grew a little frustrated because Marianne was trying to come up with this good plan,
Great
and
plan.
Mike was like trying to prevent her.
Yeah,
Like,
Mike's trying to
just
shut her down.
hand over the reins for 1 week and let Marianne
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
her thing.
Well,
She
but-
has a good plan.
She
She's
did
not
tell
targeting
him.
you.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
She did not present a plan. She did exactly what all of them complain that other people do. Was she's like, this is what you're gonna do.
Mhm.
This is how you're gonna do.
yeah,
this
she
is what you're
tried to
gonna
take
do.
control.
Well, and
Instead of
she
like,
stuck to her
hey,
guns.
look, yeah.
This is what you're going to do, okay? You're going to tell Jonathan to vote Omar.
But I do wish that she had
But
presented
Mike's like,
it in that
Romeo,
manipulative way.
Romeo.
What
And
for
then
our
she,
style,
she
Romeo?
pivots pretty good, though, with that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, yeah.
she's like, okay, what can I do to incorporate that and still do what I want to do?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Which is smart.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
And I
Yeah.
get Mike's like, let's just vote Romeo, get him on. But like,
And
this is an opportunity. Like, Omar is a much bigger fish than Romeo.
And he even
Right.
kind of had, Mike even kind of had Jonathan on board with him too. Like, okay, well, what if she does use it? But the thing is, at that point, say she did use it, then it would be a tie between Romeo and Jonathan, and then Romeo would be voted out anyway, right? Because Romeo would already, and Jonathan would have had the votes on his side at that point to
Well,
vote
you never
Romeo out.
know. You never know.
Well, true, but most likely.
But with her extra vote, with Marianne's
Mhm,
extra
vote,
vote,
her plan was perfect.
yeah.
Most
You know,
likely.
and it's just so her final plan was, hey, she's like, fine, you two vote Romeo like you keep saying you're going to. I'm going to talk Romeo into voting for
and then that's
Omar,
3 votes.
and I'm going to use my 2 votes, and we're going to get Omar out of here.
Yeah.
So, and that was great plan. I thought it was a great plan when she was explaining it to him. And
Yeah.
and
I
it-
wish Mike would have backed her up a little bit.
I
do too.
Though, you know?
But I tell you what, man, that upped my confidence in Marianne, man. She got a bunch of brownie points for me in this one.
Yeah.
For sure, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they go to tribal council.
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 Back to the council.
Bounce to the council.
I don't know why you can't say that word. Just
Tribal council.
Try it again.
Tribal
Council.
All right. They go to tribal.
We're just calling it tribal now.
Pretty uneventful for me. I mean, it's pretty straightforward this time, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think Omar tried to say a little. I think Omar may have, like, in his little speech, tried to convince Lindsay to use the idol on her.
Yeah,
on
I think he
him.
was trying to. Yeah.
Yeah, because he's like, you never know how things can go, and like maybe there's advantages
Yeah.
played when they need to be played. Like
He's like,
I'm
well,
actually kind of surprised an idol wasn't really played because, especially when you can't use it, like this is an opportunity for Lindsay
Yeah.
to do
Exactly.
something.
right.
But she thinks, if I don't play it, then she thinks that if she doesn't play it, then it's not going to go back in recirculation, which is not necessarily the case, right? Like you said, it
Right.
can still go back in circulation again. But
Yeah,
and
'cause
then of course
it's-
Omar, the famous last words. He's like, I'm survivor confident. Then I know what's going to happen here. He's like,
Mhm.
but you can always get blindsided.
Yeah,
right?
and I
So-
guess she's
Survivor
thinking, I
confidence.
don't need to use an Ino because Jonathan is the biggest fish. I already plan to get rid of him in her
Yeah.
mind. So I don't think she's thinking, I need to do something spectacular to go after someone that I couldn't otherwise.
Yeah, well,
Right.
good point because and everybody else did a great. Marianne did a
She
fantastic
did
job
great.
acting. Whenever she came to her and said, "We're getting rid of Jonathan," that Marianne's like, "Absolutely, I'm with you. Let's get him out of here." So I mean, great job, another great job from Marianne. Perfect
Yeah.
acting. I mean, totally freaking blindsided. Lindsay on this because Lindsay's all thinking, "Oh, we're hunky dory. I got this person on my team no matter what." So
Yeah, she has
Yeah, it
to
was
be
good,
pretty
man.
frustrated with what happened here.
oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. That's going to be interesting to see going back.
hmm
Her
Yeah.
reaction to that.
Yeah, so I loved it. So everybody goes and votes. Jeff tallies it up, and of course, they put it in a certain order like they always do, right? And it was bring it down to the wire in this one. So yeah, so it comes down to a 3-way tie, right? We got Jonathan, Omar, and Romeo.
But wait, there's an extra vote.
There's an extra vote, Marianne's.
Yeah. And they're all like,
And then Omar looks
and then
at
they
Marianne.
look at the jury, and the jury's like, what?
And then Omar looks at Marianne. Did you? And she's like, I used it.
I
And
did. I
I
did it. It was me.
Yeah, and
Did he
then
see it coming?
I don't think he saw it.
I don't think he did.
I think he thought it was going to go to Jonathan. I thought he was
I
like,
think-
okay, good, we're good here. And then all of a sudden his name pops up.
I
and he's
think
like,
the
oh,
first
my
time he
gosh.
saw his name, the
Uh-huh.
first vote for him, I think he thought. He
But
knew
when
he
you
was
see
out.
your name come up and that's not part of the plan, that's an indicator.
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, you saw
That's true.
Lindsay's face too. She was like,
Uh-huh.
"That's not part of the
Like,
plan."
wait a second. Why are there multiple? Anytime you see multiple votes that you're not expecting,
Yeah.
that should make
Yeah.
you nervous.
Oh yeah, well, and what I love when Jeff was asking people about the situation and the voting and all that. I love Jonathan's response. Like, there's no such thing as an honest vote, really. He's like, you got to worry about people are going to be scheming and lying to you.
And Omar's normally the schemer, and
Yeah.
to have this be a secret from him and no one spills the beans, pretty
Mhm.
impressive.
Oh, dude's
Yeah.
great.
Pretty
What
impressive.
a plan, Marianne.
Good job.
Congratulations, that was perfect.
And the
man.
jury saw
Yes,
it. Yeah.
absolutely.
However, that's going to put a
Strong
target
move,
on your
strong
back.
move.
Beautiful,
That's going to put a
beautiful,
target
man.
on your back. But
Right.
it's a nice thing to add to your resume because she's
Well,
been saying that.
And
that's
essentially, she
something
got
she's
rid
been
of
concerned.
the real top dog
Yeah,
here.
but
Yeah.
she outplayed the player in this
That's
one.
true.
Yeah.
That
She
is true.
outplayed the player. It was
Now
like,
the
man,
question
what a
is-
job.
Can she, if she makes it to the final three, can she plead her case and explain that?
Oh,
move?
I hope she can.
Yeah, I bet she can.
Yeah.
Well, you would think
Well,
like Xander wasn't
you
able
got
to do
to.
it last season.
Well, the
Yeah,
thing
he's
is,
like,
young, and I don't know.
Well, she
she's
didn't.
young.
I think
Yeah,
she.
but
Well, the thing is too,
she's
though,
pretty vocal.
Marianne wasn't really in tune with just how much Omar's been manipulating the whole thing. Because remember when she did her one-on-one, she was like, "Omar just became a butterfly." He
Yeah.
orchestrated this one thing here, and now boom, he's the top dog. It's like, no, Marianne, he's been doing this for a long time. So I think she just now
Yeah.
just seeing it for the first time. So maybe she won't be able to.
Well, I think a lot of
talk as
people
good.
are realizing that kind of late when it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah,
the beauty
sure.
of his game. At least it was.
Right. It was. Yeah. Now he's gone.
But now you look at when they go back, you've got Lindsay who's all by herself now.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of have Romeo and Marianne, and then Mike and Jonathan, and then there's a couple of
This happens every season where
Yeah.
the Romeo type of player makes it pretty far because
Yeah.
he's
He's
got
no threat.
no one to back him up.
Yeah. He's won
He's
nothing.
not very good
He's
at the
orchestrated
game,
nothing. He's
so
done,
yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Alright.
see how Romeo doesn't make it to final three.
yeah. I would love
Probably.
to.
all
this
these
point.
all these people left would not want to sit against.
And
Or
Romeo
would
loves
wanna
when
sit
someone
against him.
comes
Yeah.
and talks to him and says it's not you, and he's like, "All right,
Yeah, good.
Just
Who
tell
are
me
we
who
gonna
it
do?
is.
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm
you got
on
my
board.
vote. You got my vote."
But I guess if he makes it to the top three, he still wins some money, right? So hey,
Yeah.
so
That's
he,
true, that's
so he
true.
gets something out of it. So I think at this point he knows he ain't winning $1 million, but if he made that top three, he's getting some money. So hey.
However, you never know. He could be one of those like coasting to the end, and all he has to do is make a nice big move or two at the end.
yeah, I think
But
it's too late. For
I
him
don't
to
think he's
do that.
capable,
Yeah, I
but
don't either.
if he does, then he has
Well,
an
he's
actual
he's
chance.
also so far from what we've seen unlikable to people.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
He's
true.
been eating
So
all the rest,
that's
man.
that's not playing in
He's
his
stealing
favor.
food. People want to be like, yeah, all Omar does is eats, man. Or Omar, not Omar, but
Romeo.
Romeo. Thank you.
Yeah.
All he does is sit there and eats rice.
That's what they say.
So
I
they all
mean,
think, yeah.
We don't see him do a whole lot, so
No.
he doesn't have a strong
He's
personality
weak.
at this point, and he's got no one to really talk strategy or do anything to. So he's
Yeah.
really in a corner at this point.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah,
He's got to win something to make a move at this point.
Mm-hmm. And he ain't even winning.
no,
He's
is
got to
not-
win and then somehow be vocal.
but
about
he is
who
the
goes
perfect
home.
person to take to the end. So
Oh, absolutely. I would be freaking like
And
jumping
he's
for
the
joy
best
if I know I
person
could
at
take him
this
to the end.
point.
yeah,
Absolutely.
So where do we see it going from here?
well, that's going to depend if it's Jonathan or Lindsay who wins immunity next week.
Yeah.
Because is it going to be
So with
Marianne?
Omar gone, you might say he had the best game. Who has the best game now? Is it Mike? Jonathan?
Or
Marianne's
or
gone
Lindsay.
up.
I mean,
So right now, I think it's Marianne. Lindsay. I mean, Lindsay has a good game, but like this has set her back.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't know what big plan she has to come back from that, unless she can get rid of Jonathan.
But does one move boost Marianne to the very top?
What's left?
Can you say that?
That's what I'm thinking.
I don't think it boosts to the very top. She's up there. But I'd say it's right now.
Does Jonathan or Lindsay made real big moves? Yeah, they're winning competitions, but
that's
have
all
they
they're
made big moves?
Right.
I would say no, not so
Right.
much.
No, Lindsay's tried, and they got foiled,
That's
right?
true.
So they got
Now,
foiled.
Mike-
what have you done?
Yeah.
You haven't even been able to
Mike
accomplish what you tried to
kind
do.
of made a move
Mhm.
with Omar. I mean, Omar was the one who orchestrated it, but he did give
Mike
up
has.
his
Mike
idol
has
and
been a
make that.
part of a lot of things, so he
Yeah.
can probably
Yeah.
speak to that if he's
Well,
wise.
he thinks he's the one that orchestrated the whole high thing.
That's
so,
true,
He's
yep.
like, I orchestrated the high thing. I got that on my
Mhm.
resume. So I mean,
So at least he thinks in his own mind he's done a lot.
Right.
right, so he can talk through that at the tribal. Like, hey, here's what I did
Probably.
to orchestrate this. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think he might be able to articulate out of anybody like
Yeah, I think so.
the most of what he's done.
Potentially, yeah.
But there's still some
Dude, it's-
game left. So
Yeah, I mean, it's tight.
the
at this
window's
point.
open.
I think with Marianne just jumping, several notches like she did, I think it's super. And Romeo's obviously pretty much out of the picture. I don't see that guy doing anything. But the other four that are in it now, man,
It's a close race.
It's anybody's game, man. It's anybody's
close
Yeah.
game.
race.
Yeah, it's totally anybody's game, and I don't have a clue.
Now, who has the most jury votes at this point, do you think?
Ooh.
Because that matters a lot.
Maybe Marianne after this.
Maybe? You might be right.
Marianne or Lindsay.
And she's pretty
Maybe.
likable.
Yeah,
She is likable.
She's very likable, and the whole jury got to watch her use her last vote to get Omar out of there. I mean,
Mhm.
there was no secret of who did that. So
And Marianne's never really
I think if it's
like
like
done
Mary,
anybody wrong
I think
other
if-
than like this
I
scenario.
think Mike is the real challenge to Marianne. Because
Yeah,
I think
I
if
agree.
Marianne goes against Jonathan or Lindsay with Romeo, she's probably going to win against those.
I think so. Yeah.
I think Mike
Whereas
at
Mike's
this
another
point might be the
likable guy.
only one. So those guys need to make some big moves. They can't just coast to the final at this point. They
Again,
got to make a big
I
move.
think it all comes down to how they plead their case. I mean, if it's down to Jonathan, Lindsay, and Marianne explains this big move and says, "Look, everybody thought I was this little like weak person. I know I was a target a couple different times. They won competitions, but that's how they stayed safe. I stayed safe because I had to like be in the know and do what I needed to do."
I think the only way Jonathan can win, honestly,
Lindsay.
is if it's Lindsay and Romeo.
Jonathan
If it's
and
Lindsay
Lindsay
Romeo.
need each other in
Yes,
the
they
final,
do.
I think. I
Yep.
don't think they win against anyone else when they're not there
Exactly.
together.
And
That needs to be a light bulb moment for them.
the only way either one of them stand a chance is if it's those two and Romeo at the final.
Right.
Right, because then it's going to be one of those two winning. And I think Jonathan, if he can talk his way through it, should beat Lindsay in that, but who knows? But either way, it's going to be
That's
pretty
going to
close
be
for both of
close.
them.
That would be
exactly.
close. But
Yeah.
And that's
I don't,
both, and you're right. That is
Jonathan
both
and
their
Lindsay
best
need
chance.
each other in the
That is their
finals.
best chance. Exactly.
I don't think they see it though.
they don't.
No, they don't.
But
I
they
don't-
need to realize that.
Yeah, I mean,
They
I
need
know
to
they
think
haven't
big
seen it,
picture.
but will they
Yep.
see this starting this week?
Yeah,
I mean, they've been trying to get rid of each other. Now that they see the pool coming down to a smaller group of people and the type of
Mhm.
people
Jonathan
that are there,
and Lindsay
are
are
they
not going
going
to
to
be
see
Mike or Marianne in the final.
No, they're not. Nope, I agree 100%. They need each other in this, and they need Romeo. So they need to get rid of Marianne and Mike.
Yeah.
Flat out. And then just battle royale between those two, and whoever comes out on top comes out on top. But that's the only way either one of them are going to win.
I think so.
Yeah, period.
bold statements. Would you say most likely or?
Yeah, I would say that is most likely the only way that they were either one of them will win, because they
They better
just
make
haven't
a big move otherwise.
because she's already. I mean, Lindsay this
And
week
people
just
better
proved.
be aware of it.
Lindsay this week just proved her social game sucks, because the big strategy she came up with, top it upside down, top it on top of her. So
And as we said before, like winning competitions is not enough. You
Right.
got to show people your social game is strong too.
Yeah.
exactly.
So
Yeah, we'll see.
All right.
mhm.
All right, everybody.
Another week.
Well, another week down. We're down to the final
Getting down
five
to
here.
the nitty gritty.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Who's it gonna be? That's what I want to know.
Mike, right
Yeah.
now, unless he gets eliminated.
Think so?
Mike, unless it's not Mike.
Yeah, Mike, unless it's
It's
not
Mike
Mike.
unless it ain't Mike.
Mike or Marianne.
It might
right
not
now.
be Mike.
Mike or Marianne.
We were all thinking Omar was up there too, and we saw what happened to him, right? So, but anyway, hey guys, we hope you enjoy our show, and if you do, hit like and subscribe, and please let us know what you're thinking here, and share some of your thoughts. And I know last year, man, we had some people that were sharing some of their thoughts and kind of what they thought was going to happen, and I was like, no way that's going to happen. Then it kind of did. And I was like, man, I couldn't believe how it went down. So,
Yeah.
hey, kudos to those people who thought that. But hey, we will check you guys next time.
See you guys.
See ya.
than Johnson the whole time.
He's the one that caught, he's the one who's fed them. He's the one that kept them fed. He's the one.
They call him Goliath for a reason.
Right, exactly.
If that's true, why is Romeo so skinny?
Yeah, that's right. What do you think of when you do that?
I'm like their eyes, and
I've never played with them before,
but now you want to, don't
because they got the indentions in them. Yeah.
Always squeeze them. You need these eyes.
Yeah, he plays with eyes
some
too.
googly eyes, man.
All the time. Like, you don't ever see them? Squeeze them.
Yeah,
Scoochy.
I'm Scooch.
Scooch.
I'm Scooch
You
Magooch.
press hard and leave the indentions in their thumb.
Scoochy.
Cause I'm so shiny.
No, your water's lame. I can see. I
It's
have
life.
That's
eyeballs.
what he wants.
It's agua la vida, man.
I just want plain water.
Agua la vida.
Nah.
Nah.
Just snacks.
Yo,
snacks.
it's right there. Look there.
Oh, then that's not a gap. That's where I had a tooth removed, man. Yeah, I cracked it.
Which does create a gap. To be clear.
I cracked
That's
it.
not a gap. It's a missing tooth. Oh, thank you for going.